Okay, time to get real. I don't know how else to put this other than to just say, I'm going back to Adobe.
No, God!
Hold up, before you freak out and pull out the pitchforks and torches, it's not what you think. I have no intention of leaving Affinity, I just happen to also have the intention of using Adobe. Heck, I'll use any software product that allows me to make great products so that I can turn around and help other creative people make their cool stuff. And that's why I built Superlative. What is Superlative, you ask? But let's jump back a little bit. A couple videos back, I shared that I was no longer going to be selling my art, but instead I was going to be continuing to make digital products so that other people can use those products to turn around and make more stuff for other people. Plus, there's also this aspect of I'm actually looking for other people to turn around and make digital products so that other people can make products. And then we all get rich together. If you want to check out that video, it's right there, but please wait till this one's done because there's lots of really good information that's going to make that make a whole lot more sense. Recently, I was reading up on this business concept called unbundling. Basically, what it means is that when you take a large entity, let's say like Craigslist or Reddit or Amazon or eBay or Etsy or any one of these large, big businesses, e-commerce, or even just, listings of different things. Everything is compiled together. You have these huge compilations of all these different things. And unbundling is where you take a small segment out of that group and turn that into a business opportunity. For many years, Craigslist dominated this space of, hey, if you have something that you no longer want, you want to give it to somebody else, or you just want to share yourself in some way, Craigslist was the place you went to go find those things. And certain entities came around and said, hey, look, we can do that one thing better. All the for sale stuff went into places like LetGo and OfferUp and even Facebook Marketplace. All the personals went over to Tinder and Bumble and Grindr and wherever else that people go to find each other. All the jobs went over to Indeed and ZipRecruiter. All the services went over to Elance and Guru and even Fiverr. Point is, you have this big website with all these different things, and all these other companies just started taking bits out of that and turning those things into what they call vertical markets. I'm going to take this thing and go upward with it. And that, my friends, is the basis for what I am doing with Superlative. Because if you go to any one of the large creative stock agencies, you will find out that they are just a huge amalgamation of pretty much everything anybody would ever throw at a wall creatively. And while they're sitting there trying to accommodate every single creative person on the market, I'm over here thinking to myself, like, let's do something for the people like me. And so yes, Superlative is all about having a place where people who enjoy the types of work that I do, or even relatively similar, anything that's a little bit on the fringe, anything that isn't fluffy and pillowy and flowery and boho. And if you're into that stuff, cool, more power to you. But if you like a little bit more of a dirty, gritty, grungy aesthetic, well then come hang out at Superlative because that's what we're up to. Or at least I'm trying to get up to. I got some work to do and I want to invite some people here. And that actually brings up another great point because with Creative Market and Vado and some of these other agencies, they are doing everything they can to add on to their market share, which means they are taking more away from the creators who are making all the things that those places sell. Creative Market recently introduced a new subscription model, which is the same thing that Envato Elements is doing. And so they are basically lockstep with each other in this process. And I believe that what is likely going to happen is that they will both move away from the selling of individual things and only doing software subscriptions for their products. It only means that the creators are going to lose out because what's going to happen is their subscription cost per month per person is going to be divvied up between all the different things that that person downloaded for that month. If you have a product on Creative Market and that person downloaded your product, but they also downloaded 9 others, well then you have to split their monthly fee 10 different ways. Oh, and then of course you have to give your 50% cut to Creative Market on top of that. So if you do the math, the only group that's actually making any money on this deal will be Creative Market themselves. So how is Superlative going to be different than any of these other organizations? Well, it basically comes down to the fact that I'm just going to be thinking of the creators themselves more than I'm going to be thinking about my own business model. I am trying to create something that is more creator focused. And what I mean by that is that I'm still going to be selling my own products on Superlative, but I'm not going to be treated any different than any other creator that comes in to sell their products. Superlative is going to take a cut out of the products that I sell just as much as anybody else. And all of the proceeds that Superlative makes go right back into the business. That's money to pay the bills, to go back into the infrastructure of the website, to pay for staff as needed. It's also going to go back into paying for promotions to promote not just the business itself, but the creators that are part of it. Admittedly, I'm a subscriber to Envato Elements, and one of the things that irritates me the most about Envato Elements is that when you go and you find a particular creator that you like, you can't find out any information about that person. You can see the other work that they've shared, but they don't tell you anything about that person. And I think that's wrong. Superlative will share the creators themselves, share their work, and talk about them as being the human beings that they really are, as opposed to a cog in the wheel of the machine of these bigger groups. The other thing that Superlative is going to do that's different than everybody else is that our commission structure is going to be the way it is for a while, and then over time, instead of taking commission structure away from the creators, we're going to be giving it back. As a business makes more money, starts to thrive, we're going to move the commission structure more in the favor of the creators themselves. I don't know exactly what that means just yet. I'm going to have to look at probably some Excel spreadsheet that I don't understand and have somebody tell me, no, this is what we need to do now. Then we can do that. My accountant will probably beat his head against the wall and say, why do you want to keep giving more money away? And I'm going to turn to him and say, because I said so. So that's the opportunity. Build something that caters to a particular group of people within the creative world, and to do everything we can to make those creative people shine. Because if they're happy and they're making great products and they're turning that around and they're sharing those great products with the people that want to buy them so that those people can turn around and go make cool stuff too. But none of that really answers the question about why I'm going back to Adobe. Plain and simple, Adobe can do some things that Affinity cannot. At the same time, Affinity can do some things that Adobe can't. And I'm sure there's other software programs out there that can do crazy things that I've never even seen before and that other people might actually benefit from when I create products based in that software. And not just my products, but whoever else decides to come on board with Superlative. I recognize that Affinity has a good place in the market, but the majority of the market share is in Adobe products. And if I want to serve Adobe people, well, then I need to be equipped with the right software so that I can make products and share products that fit those people's needs. If I want to turn Superlative into something that really caters to a larger swath of that particular creative segment in the world, well then I need to invite the big dog. Adobe has to be as much a part of this as Affinity. But that doesn't mean I'm going to ignore you, Affinity people. I'm still here. I'm still holding on. What I personally do as a creative person, whatever software services that I use, has no reflection on the types of people that Superlative needs to cater to. For instance, my most recent product, called Artmarks, is built entirely in Affinity. It's not Affinity exclusive by any stretch. It's actually just a bunch of transparent PNG files, but it does have its roots in Affinity Photo. Actually, it has its roots in this hand right here, because all of the elements that were made in Artmarks were made by this hand right here. I did all the swashes and the swooshes and the shapes and the drops and the drips and the smears with this hand right here, which is actually the ideology behind most of the products that I make. I make them with my hands first, and then they go up into the computer to be digitized for you guys to enjoy and use, to hopefully your benefit, where you make even more cooler stuff. And if you wanted to start making cooler stuff, whether it's with Artmarks or any one of the products that I have available right now, I've actually got a 50% sale going on right now. For the rest of March, you can get half off of everything in the shop. You just got to buy $50 or more. I call it the 50/50 sale, and you can get your hands on it anytime between now and March 31st, so you better get moving. Speaking of moving, I'm going to move right over here so that I can show you this video right here where I talk about why I stopped selling art in the first place. While I'm over here, make sure you hit that like button down there. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Tag that bell because you never want to miss a thing. And, maybe share something with your homies or more family people. Anyway, be good today. Be even better tomorrow. Visit superlative.com. Link in the description. I'll see ya.